Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Last week on May 19th, I turned 49 years old. So I am officially in my last year of my 40s, and wow, has this decade just flown by. And I've got to be honest with you, when I turned 40, I was not that happy about it. I wouldn't say that I was scared, but I was just, I just had those feelings that I think a lot of us have when we turn 40, that our best days are behind us, that things are just going to start falling apart physically, our health is going to start changing, and while that might be true, how we handle that, and what I don't think is true is that our best days are behind us, because I had a fantastic time. I have had a fantastic time in my 40s, and I plan to keep having fun well into my 50s, 60s, 70s, and hopefully 80s. But when it comes to the physical and health aspects, of course, I've noticed some dramatic changes. I've always had hooded eyes. Both of my parents have hooded eyes. Family members on both sides have hooded eyes. It's just a family trait, and they've never bothered me. I think hooded eyes are beautiful. But I have had to learn to do my makeup differently than people who don't have hooded eyes. And as I've gotten older, even in my YouTube career, which is now at around 7 years, I think August will be 7 years that I started posting regularly, I have noticed that I am more challenged with my own eyes. And so what I do as I notice those changes is I try to look at different techniques, practice different techniques, see what works, take photos of those looks, and come back a few days later and look at them again and say, oh, I really liked the way that looked, or yeah, maybe that wasn't so flattering, I'm not going to do that again, or maybe I'll try it a different way next time. So experimentation with makeup at this age is key. So the makeup look I'll be teaching today is my current go-to look that, simply put, just makes me feel good about my appearance. I feel like it is the definition of a light glam that isn't too overdone and really flatters my features. I'll be using a lot of products that I'm really loving right now, and the overall look is very matte. Now you may be thinking, Risa, as we get older, don't we need more glow? Aren't we looking for lighter, fresher, glowier? Yes, most of us are. However, if you are someone like me that has extremely oily skin, still in her late 40s, I prefer a more matte look. But as I go through this whole tutorial, I am going to share how this routine can be switched up for someone with more dry skin who's trying to achieve a glowier, dewier type of look. As always, I am beginning by prepping my eyelids with the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor 02. And now I'm using the Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Pore Blurring Primer. Yes, my face does get a little red whenever I apply products, moisturizer, sunscreens, primers. Anytime I apply anything with my fingers, my face gets red, but only for a couple of seconds. For foundation, I'm using one of my go-tos for years now, the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. For those of you who are looking for a more glowy base, I would recommend either using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter before applying the foundation instead of the Laura Mercier primer, or mixing the Hollywood Flawless Filter in with the foundation. A good drugstore option for a glowy base would be the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth. For concealer, I'm using the new Dior Backstage. I really like this concealer. The color match is good, the consistency is good, the coverage is great. I really love everything about this concealer. And I'm applying it with a brush, which is from Tennille Joy. It is from her Volume 1 brush collection. She is a makeup artist in Australia that I really love, and her brushes are really, really good quality. I honestly did not need any more brushes, but I'm such a huge fan of hers, I just couldn't help myself. I had to get them. And now I'm applying the concealer on the other eye and taking my e.l.f. sponge and just blending it out a little bit more after using the brush. For contour, I am reaching for my IT Cosmetics Heavenly Brush number 7 and using the Persona Cream Contour Stick in the shade Sahara. I'm applying that under my cheekbones, along my forehead, and then also lightly down the sides of my nose. Now I'm quickly filling in my brows with the Hourglass Arch Brow Pencil in Platinum Blonde. I'm really speeding this up because I show my brow application in almost every video and it's really not that complicated. I just fill in my brows with the pencil and then I fluff them up a little bit with the Ulta Brow Tint. And then I'm carving out my brows using a little concealer just to make them look more defined and cleaned up. Up next is the Maybelline Fit Me Pressed Powder. I'm using that to set my lids and prep them for eyeshadow. And for my eyeshadow, I am using this palette from Morphe. It's called Truth or Bear. For today's look, I am using some Scotch tape. As always, I put it on the back of my hand first to get rid of some stickiness so it doesn't tug at the sensitive eye area. Then I just apply the Scotch tape on an angle upwards towards my temples. And then using a neutral brown shade, I am blending that back and forth into my crease in a windshield wiper motion. As you can see here, I'm putting my chin up and looking down into the mirror so that I can access the entire lid. And once again, just going back and forth in that same windshield wiper motion. Now I've reached for the Shimmering Ivory from the palette and I'm applying that with a flat shader brush right under the arch of my brow. And now I'm going in with a little bit of a deeper matte brown and pressing that onto the outer corners of my eyes. Now it's time to gently remove the Scotch tape. As you can see, it really does not lift up my foundation or concealer. For eyeliner, I am using the Physicians Formula Liquid Eyeliner in brown, and I'm just making the tiniest little wing on the outer corner of my upper lids. I'm not going across the entire lid. And the reason for that is because I'm going to be going over it with a brown eyeshadow. And the eyeshadow I'm using for this is a really dark matte brown from the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes eyeshadow palette. However, any dark matte brown will work. The reason why I didn't use the brown from the Truth or Bear palette is because I wanted something that was a little bit more of a chocolate brown, and the one in the Truth or Bear palette is more like an espresso brown. Now it's time to set my concealer and brighten under my eyes using that same Maybelline Fit Me powder that I used to set my eyeshadow primer. But for the rest of my face, I'm using a damp beauty blender and the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. If you do not have oily skin, this step is unnecessary. If you would still like to set with powder, I would just do a light dusting of something like the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder, or for a drugstore option, I would choose the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Loose Powder. Today for bronzer, I'm using something a little different than usual. This is the Fenty Island Ting Bronzer. I'm also taking that bronzer and running it along my lower lash lines just for some soft, smoky definition. The next step is to curl my lashes and apply mascara. My current obsession is bright pink blush. Unfortunately, I did not know when I filmed this video that this palette from Scott Barnes is currently sold out, but I have linked another beautiful hot pink blush favorite down below in the description box. And now I'm just popping on some corner lashes. I unfortunately can't give you the details on these just yet. They may or may not be something I am working on. To add some glow, I'm using this Dior highlighting palette, the white shade, applying it to the tops of my cheekbones, down my nose, and on my Cupid's bow. And now I'm finishing up the look with this Morphe Sweet Tea lip pencil. And now I'm just tapping on MAC's Myth lipstick, patting it in over and over until the lipstick is blended in with a liner. And then I am topping this off with a new gloss I just received in the mail from Essence. It is their Volume Plumping Gloss in the shade Flower Blossom. I felt like my lips needed a little bit more color, so I added another shade of the Essence Shine Lip Gloss. This one is called Candy Shop. This, as I think I may have said earlier, has been my go-to look. I know that when I use these products and I do this tutorial step by step, I'm going to end up feeling like the best version of myself. Of course, as a creative person and a YouTuber, I do like trying out different color palettes, different makeup techniques. I do play around with dewier foundations, cream blushes, cream highlighters, no lashes, big lashes, individual lashes. The whole process of creating a makeup look is a creative outlet for me, and I know it's a creative outlet for a lot of you, especially as we get older and maybe you've become an empty nester, and in the past you really only focused on your kids or your work or your spouse or significant other, and you really just didn't take that time to spend on yourself. I hope that videos like this not only help you, but also inspire you. I realize this wasn't a quick 5-10 minute makeup look, but I promise you, once you get down your personal signature look, when you really discover what works best on you, of course I still recommend trying other things too, just because it's fun. But if you can just get that one look that you know is going to work every single time, and you can feel like the best version of yourself when you walk out that door, you'll be able to achieve it much more efficiently. You'll sort of know exactly how long it takes you, so you can carve out that time just for yourself. As always, I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. If you're not already a member of the Risa Does Makeup family, all you need to do to join us is just hit that subscribe button. We would love to have you. I do upload new content at least twice per week. You can also find more content from me on Instagram and on TikTok under the same username, Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, I really hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.